Welcome to Our Energy Matters with Anthony Manna and Dena Marie. Aloha.
Aloha to you too. And here we are, episode 91. We always like to explain to people, what does that actually mean? It means that we've been meeting in the Zoom Dome, Zoomville, for 91 times, talking about our life's journey. And I go each week I go to Dena Marie's book, which I will reveal the title about. I don't know if that was a sentence, but anyway, I'll reveal the title soon. And so I go here and I plow through, I meditate, I come together. You can see that the beautiful crystals on the cover are very symbolic for her approach toward healing. And then what I do is I come up with a piece of writing. And today I'm calling, first of all, Dobry Dzien. Dobry Dzien. Good day to our Belarusian viewers. Today is Wisdom Wonder. And who do you think the wisdom is about? Use Dena Marie's compass to navigate a breathtakingly expansive, spiritual, spirited landscape. Our episodes of Our Energy Matters, we explore the practices and poetics of physical, mental, and spiritual self-care revealed through Dena Marie's intuitive soul search discoveries and prescriptions for living a blessed life, a life anointed by well-being, self-love, healthful connections with others, and enlightened and balanced body, mind, spirit, energy. And so, yeah, that feels so good to say. And then I say, today I start with pitching my book in a sense, because I want to say on September the 25th, 2020, Dena Marie interviewed me about my children's book on her radio show, Lift Your Spirits. Loukas and the Game of Chance is the story that she talked to me about, is the story of a flute-playing boy who befriends a magical talking, dancing snake. The snake gives Louis everything, and leaves him with a fortune. But when he gets a little bit older, Loukas, tempted by pride, he loses all his riches and even his family. He now embarks on a treacherous journey filled with suspense and intrigue to find destiny, sun, and moon. They'll surely allow him to reverse his misfortune, restore his honor, and win back all that he loves and treasures, won't they? Well, you have to read to find out. The story is illuminated with illustrations by Donald Babish in black and white. And it's it's part of me, being that writer to create that story. So today I say, so after that pitch, I say, follow me into Dena Marie's chakra-powered, crystal electrified domain, which is, it's the expansive domain she has created in her deeply spiritual manual of matters and manners, a book metaphysically titled Our Energy Matters. At first, I wondered what kind of energy is she so confidently endorsing. She then offered a second title, The Art of Crystal Reading, bewildering when I first tried to grasp Dena Marie's intention. Crystals. How does she read crystals? That sounds so strange. Sounds a lot like an alchemist's depth charge into supernatural elements bordering the universe beyond earthly perceptions. And then there's a third title. It's exhausting. It's her third title. Dena Marie. Okay, now let's call her a celestial alchemist, right? She invites her readers, her seekers, her clients, her nomads, her pilgrims, anyone who's in need of sacramental healing to learn, here it comes, third title, how to manifest your heartfelt intentions. And folks, what I have learned about expressing my heartfelt intentions, and I do that daily now. I didn't do it today, and you just reminded me of that. I have learned by expressing my mind, spirit, soul intention, I hold close to my heart what I intuit as heaven-sent encouragement within the pages of her book to break free from the grips, I suppose, of my fear. That is, folks, to live joyfully and compassionately in the openness of mind, heart, and spirit. Over time, I am slowly and gradually beginning to grasp the depth and breadth of the theme and content of this celestial alchemist's loving embrace of the needs, conditions, presence, and here I go again, of her seekers, her clients, her nomads who arrive at her threshold in search of healing powers. Here's the promise she called out so loudly, so clearly in her book's opening. I'm quoting here, as you make your way through this book, I will help you understand the chakras, colors, crystals, astrology, numerology. I told you I'm exhausted. Mind, body, connection, and most importantly, your intuition.
Amen.
Amen. Wow, and wow, and wow, I say, a compass provided to navigate a breathtakingly expansive, spirited landscape. Dena Marie's promise intrigued me at first sight from the very start several years ago when I first wandered into our energy matters and her overreaching, spark-energized revelations burnished by her experimentation, her meditation, her healing prescriptions, and her heartfelt solace offered as rituals of recovery for living a fulfilled and happy life. I intended to set out to join Dena Marie as my guide to explore closely, I should say closely delve into her spiritually endowed awareness of showing the way to self-worth, self-love, and perhaps enlightened self-confidence. So folks, I invented the Celestial Arts Quiz Show. Established and hosted by me, Anthony L. Manna, aka Professor Grandpa Tonio, the book guy and the writing guy. The Celestial Arts Quiz Show features one contestant, Dena Marie.
Me.
Calling Dena Marie, celestial alchemist, angelic wanderer, come forth and illuminate our listeners and viewers at your threshold, curious about your passionate belief in drinking from the wellspring of the energy of open-heartedness, touched by joyful mind, to ride the rising tide of enlightened soul search. And here we go. Dena Marie, in our Energy Matters, you introduced the power and empowerment of what you call chakras. Now, I say that because to me, I had no idea what a chakra was, is, will be. Why do you call chakras, quote, energy centers in the human body?
Why do I? You know, it's hard to explain something I think you can't see. So like with Reiki, I have to get someone on my table and then they can feel it. But you have to use words to get people. So I think it's really your, it's like your aura, I guess. And some people will have an expanded aura and the colors are different. And some people have a very small aura. They don't have much energy, right? But centers, I guess I had to figure out how to explain it to everybody. And my way is super childlike. Don't you think it's easy? But there's 7, but I bet you there's hundreds and hundreds, but I had to keep it very kindergarten to teach it. And then my voice said, let's do chakra talk with Anthony Manna. And that's why I called you. And then you bought the book. But again, it took us probably 7 weeks before you even grasped the intention and gratitude. And then we moved down into the heart chakra eventually, or what we focus on, which is your brow. Yeah. So we had your intentions, which is the top one. Then you have the brow, which is purple, what you think, what you focus on. Throat chakra is you and I conversing and also listening to our inner voice, quieting that monkey mind. And then the heart chakra, which is the pink and green, is you and I learning to love ourselves and put ourselves first and be kind. And that was one of your intentions, to be kind to yourself. And then the solar plexus, which is yellow, which is below your heart, is our power chakra. And you and I are still struggling with that one, to assert ourselves, say no, or sometimes just walk away from something you have no control over. And the orange one is your basically it's your relationships with the people closest to you. So you and I have a powerlessness with a relationship right now, which we always mimic each other, and we need to walk away from it and let people learn their own lessons and such. But and then the root chakra is us physically finishing things. So you and I had an idea from the top, we focused on it, you and I talked about it, we put our hearts into it, we show up, that's your solar plexus, and then we work well together, that sacral chakra, which is orange. And the root chakra is when we say goodbye, and this goes up on YouTube. So everything starts as a, and this is so not really explained anywhere but the way I do it this way, because I want people to understand it's like a light bulb. You focus on an idea, you listen to your intuition, you talk about it, you put your heart into it, you act on it. How many people are thinking about $1 million of plants, but some people actually go out and buy them? That's you, and you're going to go out and plant the plants. You know how many people have plants dying in their front yard because they're too lazy to get out there and physically finish the project? I help people finish projects all the time because they're missing that the solar plexus, or missing the sacral chakra, and they're like a tree that just falls over. It doesn't have any roots.
No, I think you did a really good job of explaining it. I think that that's exactly, especially when you say here, place the crystals on corresponding colors. Well, that's where the crystals came in. And I say here, I was bewildered and mystified when you wrote, colors have their own specific meaning correlated to their respective chakras. And I asked, what do you mean by that? I mean, how could you illuminate that a little bit?
Well, I think for me, I need to know what chakra is blocked. So if you're attracted to all purple stones and there's nothing, below, no blue or green, or those would be the chakras that are blocked, and we need to do prescriptions. So I've had somebody pick all red and black stones and super depressed. They didn't have any inspiration. They woe is me, life was bad. They were actually super sick. But then I have to find the prescription. So the sacral would be the next one to work on. And so basically I'd probably do Reiki with them. Obviously, if they've shut down 100%, then I'd have the solar plexus find one thing they used to do that they love, like ride their bike or fish or whatever it is. And then again, with the heart chakra, having that nice conversation with somebody that listens.
Yes.
Most people just talk to me and then they feel much better. And then the higher chakras, I probably have them do a vision board, cut out pictures, start seeing the way they want their lives to be, setting intention. That's why I do the feng shui for fun, is those higher chakras. I don't know how I came up with this, but I think the crystals might have been runes in Ireland, like in a past life.
Oh.
Because I even have the same number in my rock set as the runes do. So I don't know. I think this is a past life, and I'm just remembering it. And then, yes.
And memorializing it.
And then passing it on.
So, I mean, the colors are so important. I know let's see, you've read my colors twice, and each time it's very illuminating, because you find out, I found out where I was in my life, and that I could be saying no to people, and in a sense releasing myself from stuff that I didn't want to do, involvement that I didn't want to, that I wanted to get back to my writing, and finishing another story and that type of thing. And it was good. It's all good.
Yeah, and using your throat chakra and your power chakra to not do something you don't want to do, right? Because then we get resentful and we start being martyrs and we're the victims. And you and I talk about that all the time. We can get ourselves back into that spot where I think it's past lives. I mean, we were persecuted for speaking. We were persecuted for acting or doing anything against, whether it's the church or our parents, whatever it is, society,
And to learn how to take care of ourselves. I mean, this is, we did a whole show. I mean, you did a whole show when you invited me on your radio show, Lift Your Spirits, and it was all about self-love. And it was very illuminating, because I mean, of all the things I did, I thought, let me go to look this up and see what people say about self-love, and I went to Google, of all places, and it was very interesting to see that spread of illumination about the fact that some people think self-love is narcissism,
Mhm.
is guilt, is, a very negative, nasty place to be. And I thought back to the idea of humility and how could you love yourself? You're supposed to be humble, and it's so wrapped up in such a groggy mess,
Well,
and
I have to say, my friend was an esthetician, and we went to this. It was a Catholic retreat for women, and she would put paraffin on their hands, and then it would take it off, and I would rub their hands, like massage their hands with lotion, and women would cry. They were crying because no, they've never got a massage. They've never been cared for. I mean, they had such a sacrificial lay down for everybody martyrism, but I couldn't believe just me touching their hands opened their heart, but it also made them cry because they hadn't learned to receive whatsoever. And my whole life, I've been learning how to. So, for instance, people are giving me money all of a sudden. They just give me money, and I'm like, thank you, because I don't want to take it, but I'm saying thank you, and I'm taking it. And more of that money and that more of those things are coming my way. But before I would absolutely not take money. I would give money. I would bend over and do whatever they told me to do.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I just don't do anything I don't want to do anymore. Obligation.
yeah,
It's an ugly word, and guilt.
yeah, and guilt. I just, yeah, I mean, I think the pervasiveness of guilt is radical and very disarming. It can really screw up your life.
Well, it's a good way to control people. So those lower chakras, when you're missing them, you're very easily manipulated. When you're missing any of your chakras, it's much easier to get people to do what you want them to do. Like fear is the number one. You get people afraid, they don't even want to leave their houses anymore or talk to people. So, it's one of those things. All the chakras have, there's fear, guilt, shame, and goes up the ladder. But all those chakras are very important so that you have a backbone. So you don't bend over backwards for people. So you stand your ground. And it's really important that we use our throat chakra to say yes to ourselves, and it's just easy to say no. When you say no the first time, then they know who you are. And then they'll go ask someone else to do it. And maybe that person wants to do it.
I see what you mean. Yeah. So it's not necessarily being selfish, because that's another one that comes up all the time. I mean, it's a matter of taking care of yourself.
Yeah. And keeping all your chakras aligned. Because if you keep saying yes, you're going to start this one's going to get closed, and your power chakra.
Yeah.
And then what was happening is you were having people like doctors making you do things you didn't want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you don't do that.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I'm much more cautious. Let's put it that way too, So, oh, what do I think? I think the Celestial Arts Quiz Show is coming to its end, and maybe we'll have to continue this. I don't know. I'm ending the show today, and I share with you a bit of wisdom, which made me think about the stories you tell in your book. I love those stories, which illuminate the help you offer your clients. You came to mind, and this is what happened. You came to mind when I read this on a yogi tea. I bought yogi tea. I love it because every tea bag comes with a tag. And it said to me this the other day, and this I think is your clarion call to practically everybody that comes in to see you. And also when you went out to do your presentation there, that you were the keynote speaker at a retreat. And what you are saying to everybody is, let your greatness show from your inner light.
Yay.
Hey,
Shine
right.
your light and everything will be all right.
And everything will be all right. Oh, so that's wonderful. And I'm so glad I caught that on my tea bag.
And I have to tell you that my root chakra and my solar plexus and my throat, when I was writing that book, my ex-husband did not want those stories in it. He just wanted it to be a manual. He wanted to be done with it. So it took me another year to get all those stories, and I did it. I used my voice.
Yeah,
I put my foot down.
they're so helpful because I mean, it's like, oh, so that's what you do. So, or so that's what you mean, or so that's what I can do,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just illuminating. Folks, if you want to move closer to Dena Marie's wisdom, then listen to her weekly radio show, Lift Your Spirits, on 1150 AM KKNW, Friday mornings, 8 o'clock on the West Coast. Oh, it's very early. Her website is Dena Marie. It's actually Dena at denamarie.com. And if you go there, you'll find a lot about what we're just talking about in terms of her healing practice and her healing power. She also is on Facebook, and you'll see some stunning photographs of the island she lives on the West Coast, and it's makes me want to jump on a plane, get into a plane, and get out there.
I want you to get on a plane and get out here.
I know, I would love it someday. Startling photographs of the island, prayerful advice about self-care, and information about her workshops and courses. My website for an interview with Dena Marie is, well, it's go to my website's media section and look at the Podbean podcasts. And she's among the people that I've interviewed over the years, who a lot of authors, writers, illustrators, poets. Oh, yes. And my website is basically tries to empower kids, tweens, teens, and new adults with the idea of when you write, what happens when you become a writer? And also, what about reading? If you read good literature, what does it do for you? That's what my website is all about.
The art of reading and the art of writing and the art of visiting. But those are lost arts right now. We got to get back to reading,
Exactly.
and visiting.
What about the art of healing? I call it the celestial arts, and you're a celestial artist. See, we could stay here for another hour, but we have to go. Yes. I have to go plant 1 million plants.
I know, and I got to go to the beach. Just kidding.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, all right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. And Dena Marie, take good care.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.